I initially thought that this video was going to be a year-long process of start to finish everything you need to know about rebuilding the batteries for the Symmetra LX battery system. And then 2 months later, somebody in Russia who worked on the government program to reverse engineer them sent me the software. So this has become a much bigger project because now I've decided I kind of don't trust that software and I'm going to learn what I can. And I've also teamed up with somebody in Europe who's had a lot of progress fixing other things in it. And we're going to make our new software. And also we found new ways to test the batteries. So this will be several video parts. This video will cover how to replace the battery cells and, as far as I understood a month and a half ago, the more hands-on way of reflashing the firmware. Now, I understand a lot of viewers really hate that I was using Windows 7 on this and on my tablet. And okay, I can understand. So just for those viewers, I've taken my Windows Vista laptop and I've upgraded it to a 16 gigabyte SSD and I've moved it one step further away from Windows 7. I plan to spend some time experimenting with that weird Russian software that I got, and I can't believe I even got it. The person made me promise that, here's the software, they made me promise that I wouldn't just give it out for re-uploading, only upon request. So what I'm going to do is, if you really, really, really need it, maybe, but I kind of don't trust this software. And my friend who I'm doing these batteries for designed software. And I've done a little bit of software. This seems simple enough. I'm going to learn what I can with this, fuse it with the other things the software doesn't do, and then we're going to see about making our own software. All right. Now is the video that I filmed a month and a half ago that goes over how to first test the batteries and how to replace the cells. We have changed our opinion on how we test the batteries though, because with lead acid batteries, you can get a really good idea of how their health is doing if you charge them and let them sit for a day and check what voltages they're at. And then I've also heard from several sources that some of the newer lead acid batteries aren't like the old lead acid batteries. And if you do a deep discharge on even the deep cycle batteries, you end up losing 25% of your capacity. So we've decided we're not going to be doing a load test on our Symmetra LX. We're going to put the batteries in, and then every 3 months we're going to be filling out a chart. We're going to take a battery out, let it sit for a day, test the voltage, and we'll get a sense of the health from that. But we don't plan on having any super long outages, just a lot of smaller outages, and this would be a good way to make it last a lot longer. And it would be a shame, because the newer lead acid batteries are of a lower quality, to really kneecap them right off the bat. So we're not going to be doing a big discharge test. We're just going to be testing the voltage of them and going from there and doing a chart with them. And that'll be its own video. We haven't gotten to our first 3-month test yet, but that seems like it's going to be a much better idea. And the batteries that we've just replaced are doing really well. All right, here's the video. So this is the system that we're talking about. And these batteries have a lockout chip in them. I'm hoping for this to be a fairly complete video on how you can rebuild your Symmetra LX battery modules, or Symmetra LX on them. SYBT5 is the name of the actual battery modules. Now, these are a bit difficult because they have an EEPROM in them that the computer inside the microcontroller puts a number on it to tell it it's bad. And sometimes your batteries actually can still be good for a little bit longer if you erase that EEPROM in a specific way. I'll be showing that in this video. I have one pack left that still has good cells in it, and then I have these packs that do not have good cells in them, and I'll need to be replacing them. And so we will go through replacing these, and we will be reprogramming the EEPROM to make sure it's brand new. And if you have any issues with this or don't have the time for it, I'm helping my friend with this. I can help you with it too, most likely. So send me a message if you need help with this, because in order to do this, you will need a little bit of programming understanding, and you also need a Reprogramming IS. Now, of course, you could use a different program than the Reprogramming IS, but this is the one that I saw recommended online, and I saw that the price actually was fairly good compared to other ones. So I got it, and it's actually pretty useful. And it's pretty easy to use, so I recommend it. In order to test the batteries, firstly, I recommend just feeling if it gets warm. This one got quite warm. These other ones got a little bit warm, and that was still an indication that they were bad. This one did not get warm. Now, if you can't quite tell from that, I recommend putting them on a bench after letting them charge for a little bit, just to give them the best chance, and then switch them on. Now I can take my multimeter, switch it to DC volts, and connect it to these bottom connectors. We have 131.2 volts. That's really good. If it's closer to 120 volts, it seems like you might not get very much life out of it. And this one is the one that blew up, shot sparks. Oh yeah, it is only 4 volts. It is dead. Ew, 87 volts. That's really not good. So that one has high self-discharge. 102 volts, definitely not good. 107 volts, not good as well. These have sealed lead acid AGM cells in them, and AGM cells usually run like a volt or so higher than normal lead acid batteries. So if you know about lead acid batteries, take what you know and move it up by 1 volt. And then that can definitely tell you that having the pack at 12 volts is like having a regular battery at 11 volts. It is dead. This battery being at 132 volts, anything over 130, that's pretty good. This one is erroring out just because it's had probably too many times where it's slowly charged up and it's on its way out. But the other ones that I've reset, they're actually working fine for now. However, later on in this video, we're going to be doing a full test, and I'm going to wait several months just to make sure what I'm telling you in this video works, so we can hopefully see how this goes. And this one, well, depending on how burnt out this one is, we might not rebuild this one. Let's start with a good one. That way we can get through the programming pretty quick, and then we deal with the batteries and the possible acid leaks in the later part of the video. Something I've noticed is that whoever's been rebuilding these battery packs, they keep crushing in the sides and bending the tabs in, so moving it out like that makes it easier to put this back on. But yeah, they keep rolling these tabs in, and this one's really bad. This is bent in, so haven't had to do this on the other ones, but I have to do it on this one. I get the sense that if you buy these refurbished, they come from a scrapyard and they just rip the batteries out and throw it back together without much care. Even if the people that reprogram them have care, somebody who rips the batteries out does not have care, because the screws are stripped and things are bent and then edges are crumpled in. So we have this little cable conduit. I tend to see it with the long side down, although one I saw that way and it did not work, so it seems pretty accurate that that's the right way to go. In order to open this up, I move this over, pull this back, pull this one, and then move this over. And that way you can just get to the chip without having to do any of the wiring super fast. This chip is on a socket. I don't have a chip puller, But I do have this little hook, so I can put that underneath it once I get the crack opened up. Go underneath the other side and lift it up. Let's put the chip in. And now, funny enough, I actually had to look up a picture online of which side you put the chip in, because I didn't know. It says orientation, but it doesn't say which side. But it's actually this side. It's one of those things that you don't know if you don't know. Now, the Reprogramming IS software works really fast. You can install it super fast on Windows XP, Windows 7, and all that. Windows 10 took a while to install on. So this, I say, is a good use for any of those old Windows 7 things that you have. So let's download it. I already have it set to the right chip. Actually, I should show you how to set it to the right thing. So you go into here and then you type 93C66B. 93C66B. Hit enter. Device list. Now you would have had to select this earlier. 96C66B. So that's how you select it if you don't have it selected. So now what we see is we have this and this. All of this stuff, this is the error messages. This is the date. This is the serial number. So that all gets added up, and the rest of it gets checked with this checksum. So you'll want to go into the settings, options, and make sure that use checksum 16 instead of CRC32 is clicked, because then that'll give you this checksum, which is 196F, as you see there. And now it's flipped on their system, so it's 6F19. But that's how you find that, so the entire system can detect, okay, the code is correct and it hasn't been messed up. Now, that checksum only does this stuff. So you don't have to worry about that at all if you just change the error codes. But I want to do a little bit extra. So for you just read it from the chip like that. Now it's written from the chip, and you just go into here and you just hold down the 0 key. And you clear out all those. Oh, touchpad's having issues. Like that. Now if you want, you can write it bish bash bosh. You got it, good. You don't have to worry about the checksum or anything like that. Just remove that last text and you're good. But since I'm here, I might as well change the date code. So I'm going to tap on the 0, make it to a 3, because that's 2023. December 24th, 2023. Well, now that we've changed these numbers, we need to change the checksum. And we see it's 196B. That's not too bad. I'm just going to change that F to a B. 196B. I'm just going to do it again just to make sure. 196B. 196B. So now we have the date code changed, and we can put it on there. I do not recommend taking this and putting on all of your chips. I did that so multiple packs had the same serial number, and it gave a fit. It didn't like showing the data for it. So it's just best every time you take a pack out, just pull it out, remove the text, change the date code and the checksum if you wish, and then put it back in. But just make sure you keep the serial number different on each one. 196B, 6B19. Looks good, so let's program. And there we have it. My finger was hurt before, so I found a trick of putting the chip onto a piece of tape and holding the piece of tape to put it on there. And that worked pretty well. Make sure all this stuff is still connected up because I don't want to cause any loose connections. But it seems all fine. Push that over. Push that in. Try not to use this hand because I heard it. Now that we're logged into the web portal for this, I can go to Diagnostics. Having some network issues. Ugh. Well, either way, I don't know why the Wi-Fi has been giving me issues for the past 15 minutes, but in the meantime, I got a little bit curious, and oh my, I think we will be saving this pack for last. This is, You know, my friend told me that he had one pack release a bunch of smoke, and I believe it's this one. Oh, it left it dropping. Probably of acid. All right, little technical failures aside, we can get this one going. Ooh. Got a bunch of acid on me. I almost made the mistake of wiping it on my trousers, but that's a bad idea. I'll just go rinse my hand off. It's not going to burn me, but it will burn my jeans. That's the problem. I'll probably end up with holes all over my sweater now. Oh well. Sure enough, a month later, 2 washes, little holes. I'm glad I didn't put it anywhere else, didn't get holes anywhere else, but sadly now I have holes in my... So it's usually good to roll up your sleeves, although this was filmed when it was kind of cold and it was in a basement, so I didn't really want to do that. I was already a little bit chilly as it was. But yeah, be careful getting it on your clothes, but it's okay to get on your hands, just as long as you wipe it off pretty quick. All right, I took a little too long, and by the time I got to the bathroom, it was starting to get uncomfortable. No long-term damage, of course, so no worries, no worries. Yeah. Ah, there's the culprit. Now these connections, they're actually, if I understand right, they have like a spring-loadedness to them. And so if you just pull back on the plastic, that should mostly undo a lot of the friction. So you just pull back on that and pull it, and that's how you get it out. At least that's what I understand. Turn that to off. All right, let's see what the voltage is. .96 volts, but that's across two of them. This one's 9 volts. Well, this one's 4 volts. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Hey, 12.82 volts. 10.67. Well, that 12.82 volt cell, that's pretty good. I can save that for a little project. As for that one link cable that I'll need, I think I'll take it from this. Ew, look at this horrible melted thing. Look at this melted pack. It even blew off some of the valve covers. Well, at least this cable's okay. So that's one cable, but most of them are that bad. I'm actually gonna have to wash that off because that's pretty bad. These are stuck on there pretty bad. Here's the new batteries. Here's some tape to put them together. We went with PowerSonic. And we went with Mighty Max batteries. These are some of the top ones on Amazon. And I figure it was a good idea to go with something that one of the viewers might also have to go with. I'm going to use this battery as a backdrop for it. Okay, that might work. Just kind of sit on it a bit. And then that is good. Okay, connects up. While I'm sitting on the battery, I'll pull all the little tab covers off, like so. Oh wow, so this is empty. I didn't get anything from it, and so I just put, yo there, doggies, and it reads it from it. So this is just an empty EEPROM. That is weird. Is it possible to flash one just from static electricity? I don't think it's that likely, but oh well. Well, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the dump from the first one that I opened up. We're going to reconstruct this because we have the serial number right there. Okay, and so actually, no, why am I doing this? I'll do one of the ones that I actually did. So it'll come up as oh my God, come on. So I have the updated serial number for this pack, so it's not overlapping. So we have 1967, so we have 1973. Okay, so let's change that to a 67. So we have 1967, 1967. It should be good, and it should be correct. Right. I'm just going to close this and reopen just to make sure. Read. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Maybe I was actually able to close it. Maybe I was actually able to flash it with static electricity. Didn't think that'd be possible, but oh well. That's the first time in my years of experience that static electricity has caused a problem. I'm gonna go wash this since it has acid on it. Pushing these batteries back can help with getting this in here. So it's been several months, and oh, your computer might be at risk. Well, I think loading weird Russian software on a computer, that's the biggest risk I could take. Thanks for the notification, though. So it's been several months, and the system has been working beautifully. We've had a few power outages. All have been fine. Some have been 2 hours. Some have been more like 15 minutes. One, I think, was like 9 hours, and it did fine. If we had done a full discharge, which may have taken about 15 hours, I feel like that may have been a mistake. So we didn't. And I'm so glad we didn't, because we allowed the system just to, we're not consuming any of the potential just for a number. And instead, what we're going to be doing is I made a chart. You can download it in the description. And every 3 months, every 6 months, something like that, we're going to take the batteries out. We're going to see if they're warm, set them aside for a day or two, and then check the voltage. And where the batteries settle at, just like how we first checked the batteries, if it's over 130 volts, it's good. And we're also going to mark on the graph and draw a line so we can see how they degrade over time. If the batteries are too low after a day, then that means that they have a lot of sulfate in them, and they're not going to, usually that is a very, very sure way to correlate. As sure as if a tire is squished, that means that it has less air pressure in it. So that's pretty sure. You know, it could be that the vehicle weighs a lot, but usually it's pretty sure that if the vehicle is the same and it's squished, there's not enough air pressure in the tire. And just like with that, I would say I have the same sureness with this. I've experimented with a lot of lead acid batteries, and it's always seemed to be the case that if a battery is unhealthy, it just sits at a lower voltage because it burns up its power a lot quicker. And so, yeah. I had hoped to do a much bigger video here, but now with this software, it's gotten even bigger. And I'm hoping to do another video just talking about this. I'm busy doing other things at the moment, so I won't be covering this just yet. But I want to edit the files and then see what it edits, so then we can mark down what it was that changed, and then we can incorporate that into a new program with the other information that we've discovered that is not in here. And hopefully make this a little bit better, maybe work on newer systems, and also make it export files that are a little bit more universal, or a better way to get stuff out of it, to work with different programmers, because on here I have the Reprogramming programmer, and on here I have the APC software. Well, the non-APC software. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and even though it didn't become a 9-month all encapsulating 1-hour video, it's going to become a much bigger project and more videos, and I hope you guys stick around with me because this is going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to help out on Patreon, feel free, but I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to give a good crack at this. And I think I've already given a good crack at this, but I'm going to go even further, make it it's going to be an actual project in my mind. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. Until the next one. Oh, by the way, we have this battery pack. I mean, UPS, sorry. That could be fun. We're thinking to change that to lithium with Nissan Leaf battery packs. Please give any input if you need. If you have any input, please give it about that, because I don't want to blow up a bunch of lithium battery packs or blow that thing up.